Thank you for joining us this evening. It's good to see a full house. And before we start our meeting, I'd like to ask Pastor Raul Granello from Mercy Springs Church of the Nazarene to come forward for our opening invocation. Raul, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Heavenly Father, we give you praise for all things, for allowing us this opportunity to gather, for allowing us this amazing community, for every single heart and person, Lord, that you have brought here. I pray for each one of them, and I pray that you would bless them, that you would anoint them, Lord. I thank you for those who have come, who are willing to serve, Lord, and I pray that as we gather today to do the work of the community, that we would feel your presence, that we would consider your words, that we would seek to be like you and to reflect your image back into our community with everything that we do, Father. So I pray, Lord, for these council members. Their task isn't easy, but I pray that you would give them just your divine imagination and direction for this community. I pray for all of the staff, for all of those who work for this city, Lord, that you would bless them, anoint them, Father. For Chief Twala, for Chief Reina, Lord, just bless them as they take up those huge roles, Lord, in our newest members. Father, I give you praise for Councilwoman Perez, Lord. I pray that you just bless her and anoint her and give her a strong voice, Lord, that you just come out of the gate running, Lord. For all of our newest members and those who are leaving, Lord, I just lift them up. I pray for Brother Bill, Lord, that you bless him in all his endeavors as he has blessed his community. So be with us in all we do, Lord. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Call this meeting to order for October 15th, 2025. Chief, we have a pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Can I roll call, please?
Perez? Here. Sanders?
Here.
Chavez?
Here.
Lewis? Amabil?
Here. First item on our agenda, item 4, is consideration approval agenda as submitted. We have a motion and a second, please.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we have a proclamation for National Friends of the Library Week. The librarian, come forward, please. This way. Well, it's great to see everybody. Really nice to see everybody. So, this is a proclamation recognizing the National Friends of the Library Week. You all do such a good job for our community. Really appreciate it. Whereas the Friends of the Library raise money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming, much needed equipment, support for children's summer reading, and special events throughout the year, whereas the work of the Friends highlights on an ongoing basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of our community, providing opportunities for all to engage in the joy of lifelong learning and connect with the thoughts and ideas of others from ages past to present. Whereas the Friends understand the crucial importance of well-funded libraries and advocate to ensure that our libraries get the resources it needs to provide a wide variety of services to all ages, including access to print and electronic materials, along with expert assistance in research, readers, advisory, and children's services. And whereas the Friends' gift of their time and commitment to the library sets an example for all in how volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement and betterment of our community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members of the city of Los Banos do hereby recognize October 19th through 25th, 2025 as Friends of the Library Week in Los Banos, California, and urges everyone to join the Friends of the Library and thank them for all they do to make our library and community so much better. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Alexis?
I just wanted to say our mission statement and gratitude. I just would like to appreciate the mayor and the city council for this proclamation for this National Friends Week. And then our mission statement is just something I wanted to briefly bring up. The Friends of the Los Banos Library is a volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting and advocating for the Los Banos branch of the Merced County Library. And I just want to thank every single volunteer that has helped us with this organization from start to current. Thank you so much for your time and care. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll wave to them. So everybody, you'll get your library card. Okay, before we do our public forum, I'm going to ask Councilmember Chavez asked to speak before we do our public forum.
Thank you, Mayor. So I wanted to speak on the comment that I made at the last meeting, and I just want to say that, that was inappropriate. It was wrong. I shouldn't have said what I said, and I wanted to basically apologize to everybody, especially, the community. I want to, apologize to staff, obviously, because I don't, representing, you guys, and that's not right, and as well as the council, but more so, the people that were here during the last meeting, when I made that comment, because it really had nothing to do with majority of the people that were up here speaking. One thing I want to make clear is that, I didn't make that comment. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody for coming up here to speak. It's hard enough to speak up there. It's hard enough for anybody to speak. And that's why I felt it was important to, to apologize and admit that that's not right. And I want to also thank, the people that reached out to me as well. But like I said, I want to thank the people that were here. Apologize to the people that were here. I think Khalid, you were here. I think Carlos, Miguel, I think Julie was here. Fujio, I think I said Miguel. The guy from the fire department was here. Blanche as well, Pastor, and there's some other people. I know I've left some people out, and I don't, I don't remember everybody that was here. But I do want to say that, that I am truly sorry about that, and I own that. And I did have a, conversation with my daughter, and I did tell her, you know what, it's okay to say when you're wrong, because if you can't say you're wrong, you can't learn anything. And that's one thing that I did tell her, and hopefully, we both learned from that. And and she's watching now, so I just want to tell her, your dad will be a better person. Anyways, thank you, and again, I apologize. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Now I'd like to open the public forum. Members of the public may address the City Council member on any item of public interest that's within the jurisdiction of our City Council. This includes agenda and non-agenda items. No action will be taken on the non-agenda items. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes of the presentation. Anyone that would like to speak with us, please come forward, and I see we already have. So go ahead and start, Ross.
Good evening, Mayor, Amabile, and council members. I want to speak openly and honestly this evening. Our community of Los Banos has been operating in a reactive mode for too long. That's not just on the city council. It's on all of us as a community for allowing things to get to this point. The result is that the residents continue to face the cost and challenges that come with delayed action. The General Plan Amendment open house that took place on September 25th perfectly showcased the ongoing issue. But we wouldn't know this unless you had the Municipal Service Review, or MSR as it's commonly referred to, which wasn't present at this event or even discussed. I want to point out a few items. So let's talk about public safety, starting with our police department. According to this report, the MSR, the city currently has 48 sworn personnel officers serving some 47,000 residents. That's just over one officer per 1,000 residents. According to this report, With a projected population of about 56,000 at build-out, the city would need to add roughly 9 more sworn officers and 6 additional support staff just to maintain the current ratio. To make matters worse, the latest general plan that, and this report highlights this, doesn't make no mention of a police officer service standard. Research shows that each additional sworn officer hired directly correlates to 1.3 fewer violent crimes and 4.2 fewer property crimes per year, according to the Peace Officers Research Association of California. According to the Public Policy Institute of California, the state average in 2021 was 1.7 officers per 1,000 residents. Los Banos should be striving to become one of the safest cities in Merced County, not one that continues to fall behind. Now let's look at our fire department. Again, according to the Municipal Service Review report, the fire department serving communities over 25,000 people typically have between 0.84 and 1.3 career firefighters per 1,000 residents, according to the National Fire Protection Association. Based on this standard, Los Banos Fire Department is significantly understaffed, currently at 0.40 or 0.61 if you include the volunteer firefighters. Again, this information came from the MSR report that was triggered when the city submitted the amendments for the general plan. And what does the general plan amendment do to address these problems? Nothing. Were these deficiencies highlighted or even discussed along with the general plan amendment? No. In fact, it's likely to make things worse, especially when it comes to our growing traffic congestion. How? Because it eliminates one potential solution, the long-discussed bypass that's currently included in the city's general plan. No matter how far-fetched it may seem right now or not feasible. And what's being proposed instead? Again, nothing. What this amendment really does is push the problem down the road for the next city council to deal with, all at the expense of us, the residents. Let's do better. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? Please come forward. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Khalid Sanchez, and I want to say thank you to Councilman Chavez for doing the public apology to everyone, especially the community that deserved it. But I also want to say something. I want to say that I believe that the community also deserves a public apology from the rest of the members who laughed that day, because by laughing, you accepted what he said. Not only he stood up, he said sorry to everyone. He did private phone calls and apologized. But I also believe that all the representatives of the city that were present should give a public apology for laughing, because that's not acceptable. Also, I'm also here to encourage the community to come and speak, to follow what Councilman Chavez said. Don't come in and speak up regardless of that comment. I encourage everyone, and for that same reason, I want to talk about a program that the police department's doing. It's called Academia de Policía para de los Ciudadanos. I encourage several of the members of that academy to come and speak up, and they're here, they're present. They are going to speak up in Spanish because that academy is in Spanish. So if you have someone that could translate, that would be good. If not, regardless, they're going to speak in Spanish. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Please come forward. Anyone? Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community members. My name is Joe Ballas, and I'm here on behalf of State Senator Ana Caballero. I want to take a moment to thank the City of Los Banos for your ongoing partnership and support of Ana Caballero's Young Legislators Program. The Young Legislators Program was created by Senator Caballero to inspire and empower high school students across the 14th Senate District, which includes Fresno County, Madera County, and Merced County, to become active, informed leaders in their communities. The program provides young people with firsthand experience in public policy, civic engagement, and community service. Students participate in monthly workshops, leadership trainings, and field visits to learn about the legislative process, public service careers, and the impact of local and state government. The goal is to help students understand that they have a voice and that their ideas and energy can shape the future of the Central Valley. This year, we're proud to have had several outstanding students from Los Banos representing their community in the program. Their enthusiasm and leadership reflect the values of the city, hard work, service, and pride in community. Through the program, they've engaged in discussions on housing, education, water, and local economic development, issues that directly impact the West Side. We want to express our deep appreciation to the City of Los Banos for helping support and encourage local youth participation. Your city's commitment to youth leadership, education, and civic engagement makes programs like this possible. Senator Caballero and our team are grateful for your collaboration in helping build the next generation of leaders right here in Los Banos. We look forward to continuing to partner with the city on future youth engagement and community initiatives. Thank you again for supporting our young people and for helping to build a brighter future for the Central Valley. I must say, I love the City of Los Banos' logo. This is a beautiful city chamber, and we appreciate all the work and collaboration with the City of Los Banos. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Please come forward.
Thank you, Blanche.
Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, community, officers. So I'm a nervous public speaker, which everybody knows me as to speak privately, I'm yakety yak. I'm here this evening to let the council know and let the community know that we are doing the annual exciting one-of-a-kind Halloween event, October 25th. It's an Elks Lodge hosted Halloween event. It's and a fundraiser, for the animal shelter and an adoption event. The Elks Lodge is hosting the event. It's only for a couple hours. It's a super fun, education, joyful event, but the deeper meaning behind it is to put the hands of the community in the hands of the shelter, and of course, community-based. It's an educational, multi-holiday, like I just said, joyful event, geared towards bringing the community to have a social event. It's super fun. Everybody brings their animals dressed up in costume. We have the Claus family there. This year, we're gonna have the Ghostbuster mobile. This year, free food. Great raffle prizes. And for those who don't know, like I said, I'm Tracy Deisenroth. And this is Winsome. So it's literally named the Halloween party, get it? And fundraiser. I want to officially thank the supporters of the event. We have, like I said, it's an educational event, animal-based. So we have veterinarians that are going to be there, groomers, boarders, feral cat information, along with the festivities. So I wanted to officially thank the supporters, the local businesses here, and the people. I've just been I'm very emotional about it and very passionate about it because of the support that we get from the community for this event is just amazing. So it's a big give back to the community and the kids. It's super exciting. So please come. Again, it's October 25th, 11 to 2 o'clock. And sorry for my uncomfortability. It's Lodge hosted.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ricky says, yo, come up to the party.
And thank you for all the work the Elks does for our community. Very great. Thank you.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon. My name is Armanda Ruiz. I need somebody who translate to.
Yes.
Please.
Minnie will translate. You know, go up there. Okay.
Gracias. Igualmente. Ya no voy a decir lo del señor Chávez porque ya se disculpó. Pero vengo a hablar sobre la Academia de Ciudadanos en Español.
I'm not going to say any more about Mr. Chavez's comment because it's already been told, and I'm here to speak about the academy.
Mi experiencia en el paseo con un policía fue que me tocó mirar una agresión al policía.
My experience driving with a police officer was I saw firsthand an aggression against the police officer.
Ya entiendo que es un trabajo muy difícil y les agradezco por hacerlo y espero que la academia continúe por más años en español. Gracias.
I know it's a very dangerous job, and I hope that the academy continues for a while.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Buenas tardes, Mayor y miembros del Consejo y a todos los ciudadanos.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and all citizens.
Soy parte de la Academia de Ciudadanos y es un gusto y un privilegio ser parte de.
I'm a member of the academy, and it's a privilege and honor to be a part of it.
Estuve en el grupo de personas que fuimos a hablar con el Chief Reina para pedir la Academia en Español.
I was part of the people requesting the academy to Chief Reina to be a part of it.
So me hace feliz el ver, darme cuenta de que sí somos oídos nosotros los hispanos aquí en Los Baños.
It makes me very happy to know that here in Los Banos, the Hispanic community is heard.
Siendo parte de la academia ha sido una gran experiencia para mí. Los sargentos, los oficiales se han tomado el tiempo para educarnos.
Being a part of the academy has been great. All the sergeants and the commanders and everybody has been great to work with.
También, wow, this is very difficult de parar. Solamente quiero decir que estoy súper agradecida con el Departamento de Policía y con un privilegio de ser parte del primer grupo de la Academia Hispana.
Oh my goodness.
I know,
Now you made me nervous. So repeat that.
That's okay. That's okay. De veras que es un privilegio ser parte de esto y saber que nosotros también somos importantes. Gracias.
It's a privilege to know that we, the Hispanic community, are also very important to you.
Todas las clases que hemos tenido, todas para mí han sido buenísimas. He aprendido demasiado.
I have learned a lot through the classes. They have been really educational, and I've learned a lot.
Y espero que sea la primera de muchísimas más, porque yo creo que mucha gente, sé que mucha gente quiere ser parte de la academia.
And I hope that this is one of many to come, and that a lot of people will be educated through this academy.
Porque para mí la idea que yo tenía de los policías ha cambiado.
Because for me, the idea that I had of police officers has changed.
También me ha dado la oportunidad de hacer conexiones. Y solamente quiero decir una clase que tuvimos con la clase de los indigentes.
So it helped me make connections, especially with the homeless population.
También la clase que tuvimos me ayudó a cambiar la idea que tenía de los indigentes y hacer esas conexiones vinieron a hablar con nosotros personas que están ayudando para las personas que quieren salir de ahí.
So it really helped us understand. It changed the vision that I had of the homeless, and being able to connect and make those connections has been really great.
Soy parte también de la Iglesia Nazareno con Pastor Raúl y ya vamos y llevamos comida, pero al conocer a estas personas que fueron a dar la clase y trabajar juntos, yo creo que vamos a ser más eficaces.
I'm a part of Raúl's church, And I think by joining and being a part of this, we're going to make things or change. And being able to take food to the homeless has really changed, and we'll be able to make a better future for them.
Muchas gracias. Y a mí me hace muy feliz ser parte de la academia.
Thank you, and it makes me very, very happy to be part of the academy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Buenas noches, Mayor y gente del consulado. Del cónsul.
Good evening, Mayor and council members.
Yo también soy parte de la academia
I'm also part of the academy,
y no queda más que agradecerle al sargento Reina por la oportunidad y a ustedes. No queda más que agradecer.
I want to thank everybody for Chief Reyna. He said sergeant. That's what I was a little. Chief Reyna for all his help.
Ha cambiado la percepción que teníamos de la policía.
The perception of police has changed.
Como pueden ver, somos muy pocos los que vinimos, pero en la academia pues sí somos como 27.
Only a few of us were able to come, but the academy, in the academy, there's about 27.
Y creo que eso se debe a la desconexión o la mala percepción que se tiene de que no son escuchados.
And I think it's the perception that they're not heard in terms of why, there's not more.
Y pues yo quería nomás dar un poco de mi experiencia. Nunca he tenido una experiencia mala con la policía.
I wanted to give my experience of the academy. I've never had a bad experience with the police.
Pero también no tenía buenas ideas de ellos.
But I also didn't have good ideas of them.
Y estas clases que hemos tenido, han hecho abrir los ojos.
And with these classes that we've had, it's opened our eyes.
Y también hemos entendido que pues no sabemos muchas cosas de lo que hacen ellos.
And we realized that we don't know a lot of what the police does.
Creo que es un buen programa y que debe continuar en español
I think it's a great program and it needs to continue in Spanish.
para que la comunidad se una.
So there will be unity in the community.
So, gracias.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hola, me llamo Nathan.
Hello, my name's Nathan.
Nathan. Yeah. I'm also here to talk about it. Aquí estoy para hablarlo de la policía porque también vengo con ellos.
I'm here to talk about it. I'm here with them to talk about the police.
Las cosas que estamos aprendiendo es mucho que tiene que ver que la ciudad y cómo las leyes aquí corresponden a lo que estamos aprendiendo.
We're learning a lot about the laws and what the laws here in Los Banos are, and we're learning a lot.
Y también quería decir que los policías, ellos también hacen buenas cosas porque constantemente están en entrenamiento para ser mejores policías.
And I also want to recognize that the police officers in Los Banos are also getting training, so they're better police officers.
Un ejemplo puede ser de los estereotipos que ellos pueden producir con los perfiles raciales y las biases.
Some of the things that they get training on is to not stereotype and not have biases.
Y también los policías deben de tomar una prueba que se llama IAT, pero en español se dice prueba de asociación implícita.
They have to take a test or training of a specific test to be able not to do these biases. And
It's called IAT in English, and it stands for.
Do you need me?
See, it's because you didn't say it right.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
That's
you didn't.
okay.
No.
IET.
Um,
And it stands for what?
you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Implicit Association Test. Y esto te está entrenando a cómo disparar las biases que ellos agarran.
And that helps you with the biases that they acquire.
Todos los tienen, aunque sean de policía, no policía, todos los tenemos.
Everybody has them, even if you're a police officer or not a police officer.
Y eso ayuda porque ellos se entrenan y pueden ser mejores policías que no tienen este tipo de vías.
And this training helps them so they can get rid of those biases.
So, los policías que están aquí en los baños sí tienen entrenamiento y las personas no entienden que las policías sí son buenos por el negativo.
Because of the negativity, the people don't understand that these police officers in Los Banos do have this type of training, but they do.
En final, la Academia de Policía para los Ciudadanos es muy buena para la gente, especialmente porque está en español.
Because it's in Spanish, this academy is really good for the people, and especially because it's in Spanish. How did I do?
Good. Not exactly what I was saying. No, not exactly what I was saying, but got the point. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello,
Hello.
it's me, Blanche, downtown, and this is Gracie. Gracie, actually, about 2 years ago, was a feral cat. She was trapped Christmas Eve, and if you noticed her ear is notched. And that's to let everybody know that she has been fixed. She has all her shots and her rabies shots. We wanted to come up because we're on our 3rd wave of kitten season. Yes, even though it's raining, it's kitten season, and it's the 3rd wave. The shelter has been doing very wonderful with the guidance of Ivan Mendez, the commanders, and of course the chief. Thank you, Chief. One thing that I think the chief can explain a little bit better is that what you had expected and wanted, which was the reduction rate of the season, the quarter, has been getting reduced by 35.5%. So it was, the chief will explain better during his presentation, but I wanted to introduce you to Gracie. She's a good mouser. I think that any feral cat can be adopted, can be in a backyard, and can get rid of all the mice and the critters. And then you can socialize them. And like I said, she was wild and I trapped her, but I just wanted to introduce you. Thank you for your guidance, your trust. We're doing well. And let me put Gracie back. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me back. My name is Aeneas Brown. A couple things I wanted to say. First thing is that I want to give my divine gratitude to Chief Tawala and the Los Banos Fire Department. I'm starting the journey of becoming a firefighter myself. So firemen and women that were there today at Station 1 have been fantastic. They showed me everything I needed to know, answered every question that I had. And I'm very blessed to be in the situation that I'm in. So thank you again. The second thing is concerned with downtown area and the city as a whole. So I seen the changes that were made, and I think that they were wonderful. I think that council should get a city planning team together, and if the budget allows, revamp the downtown area, but more so the city, to reflect the progress towards the future, as well as the roots from our past, using a method called retrofuturism. For those of you on the city council panel that are not aware, I suggest that you find out for yourselves what it means, what it is. I think it'd be really good for the city, seeing as how we've made it to 2025 and seeing as how we are a very old school, rustic city in the rural region. as well as being the crossroads of all California. I think that it would symbolize the city a lot, not just with our growth that we've came to, but also to, like I said, to honor our past and have the city reflect that. Other than that, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Anyone else, please come forward. Welcome.
It's been a while. Good evening. My name is Maribel Garcia, and I'm here to represent the Los Banos Downtown Association. I am the executive director. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. I have a lot actually to say, so please bear with me. I want to begin tonight by expressing my sincere gratitude. Thank you to our Mayor, Michael Amabile, and our interim city manager and city staff for your continued partnership and support. You've shown the Los Banos Downtown Association, working with people who truly care about our city, has made a tremendous difference, especially during our biggest community events like the 4th of July celebration and our farmers market. Our farmers market has now come to an end for the season, and what an incredible season it was. It has quickly become one of our most loved traditions, bringing families downtown every Friday to enjoy local food, music, and community. It connects local growers, small businesses, and neighbors in a way that truly brings downtown to life. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Joe Del Bosque with Del Bosque Farms and Lesma Family Organic Farming, and all of our loyal vendors and entertainers who made every Friday something special. A very special thank you to Sutter Health for their generous sponsorship of the farmers market, and your continued partnership helps make this community tradition possible. And thank you to Councilmember Marcus Chavez for attending and showing your support for our vendors and small businesses. And of course, a big thank you to Public Works for their help and setup and cleanup. Your behind the scenes work keeps everything running smoothly week after week. I also want to sincerely thank the Los Banos Police Department and the Los Banos Fire Department for their ongoing support and presence during our events. Your service and dedication ensure community gatherings remain safe, welcoming, and enjoyable for everyone. Let me breathe. Our 4th of July celebration once again brought families together in community pride and love for our country. A big thank you to Morning Star for their sponsorship. Through partnerships, fundraising, and a shared vision, we provided a free, family-friendly event filled with joy, music, fireworks that hit up the sky over downtown Los Banos. I also want to highlight our Farm to Table dinner, one of our most meaningful community events. The dinner truly reflects the heart of Los Banos, where agriculture, family, and community come together under one roof. A very special thank you to David and Carolyn Santos for their use of the beautiful venue and their hardworking team who made sure every detail was perfect. To España's Southwest Bar and Grill, your catering team was absolutely amazing. The food and service were outstanding. Thank you to Stu, our wonderful master of ceremonies, who kept the evening flowing with warmth and humor. To Garrett Jones, our talented auctioneer, for bringing energy and excitement to the fundraiser. And to the FFA students who volunteered their time and effort. Your help was invaluable. Finally, a special thank you to County District 5 Supervisor Scotty Silveira for always stepping in, lending a hand, and showing genuine support for our events. Your presence and leadership truly makes a difference. I also want to take a moment to recognize all of our farmers of the year, past and present. Your dedication and commitment to agriculture are the foundation of our community, and we are deeply grateful for all that you do. The proceeds from the year's Farm to Table event will be determined by the Board of Directors with valuable input from our sponsors. And this year, Celebration Hispanic Heritage Month and other downtown events continued to strengthen the heartbeat of our community. None of this would be possible without the incredible dedication of our volunteers and Board of Directors. Their time and passion, commitment show what it means to truly believe in unity and progress. I want to thank each of them for standing beside me and working so hard to make every event a success. We also would not do this without the generous sponsors David Santos Farming, Morning Star, the Pentagon with Delta Farms, and Garten Tractor, and many others who believe in investing in our community's future. Their support helps us lift the spirit of our downtown, not only through the music that fills the air, but through a shared sense of pride, hope, and community. And I would also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Merced College for the beautiful banners that enhance our downtown and showcase our community pride. Your partnership continues to bring color, energy, and inspiration to our city streets. Every show of support helps build a stronger connection between our residents and our downtown. When we work together, it builds trust, unity, and a shared sense of purpose. That's what keeps our community thriving and moving forward, a beautiful, united Las Banas. The Downtown Association doesn't just host events. We create experiences that strengthen our city. We give residents something to be proud of, and our businesses reasons to keep investing here. So tonight, I simply want to say thank you to those who have supported us, encouraged us, and continue to see the value in what we're doing. And to all council members, I warmly invite you to join us at our next event, the Christmas Scavenger Hunt. Meet our businesses and vendors, feel the energy, and see firsthand the difference your presence makes. Downtown Las Banas is the heart of our city, and together, through unity, respect, and collaboration, the heart will only grow stronger. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I'll leave some flyers in the front.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mayor, council members. I admit I come here today to address the council about the way we speak. And I really love, Councilman Chavez, how you handled that, your apology. There's no buts about it, just I really do. And it really got me to thinking about just so much that I see here, especially after watching all the people come up and speak, and many doing an amazing job of translating on the fly, which it really is difficult, right? Like people think, well, it's easy. It doesn't work that way. But I say to say this, that your words do matter. What you do up there matters, and you know that. You know that they have great weight. Because you've come up to this seat, and what has happened is the voices that you already have as community members has been amplified. And then that's an awesome thing. That's a great thing. But unfortunately, it's easy for us to hold you to a standard that's not fair. And say, well, you have to be perfect, and you can't mess up. And you will. Every one of you is going to mess up. I've seen you all mess up. I watched the video from last week, and I watched the cringes on your faces. Going, I don't know, right? Because I don't believe for a second anything was said with malice at all. But we're human beings, every one of us. Councilman Chavez, I mean, you're a human being. See, you're a human being, right? Like every one of us are humans. We mess up, we say things, we get angry. And I just want to encourage the community to remember that no one's out to cause some conspiracy, that we're not out to cause problems, but that we mess up. And what really shows what matters is how we handle it when we mess up. When you step up with grace and you apologize and you own it, and I got so much more respect for you right now than I've ever had. And it took you messing up to get there, right? That's awesome, because you're a human being, and I love seeing that and own that. And I want to encourage the community to accept that and to be okay with that. I love the direction that we're going with. You all are doing an amazing job. There are a couple things here today that I hope everybody caught. Number one, a bunch of Hispanics came up here and said that they felt their voices were heard in this community. That is a win. You can walk out of here with your heads held high, because all y'all did that. They rode with the chief and with everybody, and realized, you know what, the policemen and women who serve their people also. And then they see them in a different perspective when you get to know people. I keep saying that, like you want to ruin your hatred for somebody, get to know them, because it's hard to hate up close. And this community has come so far in allowing people to feel comfortable doing things that I was absolutely ecstatic that even at our last special election, 2 Hispanic women said, I'm going to take the courage to take this mantle and take a swing at it. Bravo. I mean, that's awesome. For me, it was a win-win no matter what. And now you're up here and let your voice be heard and use it. And when you mess up, it's okay. Own it. And be whoever it is you need to be, whoever God called you to be, to represent that district. My district, I'm on your district. So we need some cool things. I'll get with you later. But I just want to encourage you all to be mindful. I want to encourage the community to show grace in these times more than anything. It's easy to convict. It's easy to judge. We all do it. But it takes a lot to show grace, and that's what we need, is to show more grace. So thank you all for what you do. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council members and Los Banos City staff. My name is Larry Byers. I live on Foothill Street here in Los Banos. That's in the Crest Hills 2 development. I live about 2 blocks away from Pioneer Road. And as some of you may remember, I am a proud member of the Los Banos Tree Commission. My 2-year term on the commission ends as of December, so I'm here, in part, to ask the City Council to please consider renewing my term for another 2 years on the Tree Commission. But tonight, I'm not really here to talk about trees, not really here to talk about trauma like I did a while back. Tonight, I'm here to talk about traffic. So not trees, not trauma, but traffic. I've attended a few meetings regarding the Complete Streets project, otherwise known as the Pioneer Corridor project. The plan is to expand Pioneer Road to eventually be up to 4 lanes over the next 20 years. We were told the State Highway 152 freeway bypass will not be happening. This is due to the fact that Caltrans has some very serious funding limitations. We simply can't afford to build a freeway bypass, so it very sadly needs to be removed from Los Banos general plan. I get that. I do. So the city's newly revised plan is to eventually build our own city bypass roadway to help our residents to get around the town. This will be accomplished in multiple stages over the next 20 years as funding allows. The hope is that Pioneer Road will be expanded and upgraded to run from Volta Road to Ward Road. At least that's the dream, as I understand it. At the Los Banos 2042 General Plan Revision meeting held recently, it was discussed that the hope is to acquire the real estate in today's dollars to eventually build a 4-lane Pioneer Road. That's a very smart plan. I heard we're trying to right the wrongs of poor planning decisions of the past. Poor planning on roads like Badger Flats and Overland were used as examples of roads not built to meet today's growth. At the last City Council meeting, we heard from former Los Banos City Councilman Refugio Llamas. He got me thinking. He made the point that in 20 years, our population growth could really render Pioneer's 4-lane plan obsolete. He said we should really plan for Pioneer Road to be a 6-lane road. That certainly makes sense to me. When I arrived here 27 years ago, our town was 22,000 strong. Fast forward to today, we're now nearly 50,000 residents strong. That was tremendous growth. My question is, are we perpetuating the wrongs of the past by simply not looking far enough into the future? I know the right growth plan depends on the right planning, and money is the real issue here. Los Banos will continue to be a bedroom community for cities like San Jose. Can we at least consider getting the Los Banos general plan amended and zoned to accommodate the growth that we already know is bound to come? Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. I'm Jessica Lugo, and I'm just going to speak briefly on behalf of the Friends of the Los Banos Library. As was previously recognized, next week is National Friends of Libraries Week. And while some of you may have already heard about it through invitations, we just wanted to extend the invitation to everyone in our community to come visit the library and to join us in celebrating next week. We're going to be hosting events all week. So since the library is closed on Sunday and Monday, our events are going to begin on Tuesday, October 21st, and they'll continue through Saturday, October 25th. It's all going to be here in town at the Los Banos branch of the Merced County Library. Our goal is to celebrate the value of our library as well as the volunteers who help to support it. So on Tuesday, we're going to have a Meet the Friends event, which is we're going to be there from 2 to 5. It's kind of a Meet the Friends kind of table. So we're all going to be there. We're inviting the community to come in. It's a great opportunity to stop by, meet some of the people behind the scenes that kind of help support the library, and kind of learn more about what it is that we do. I think it's a great thing. Like if you value the library and you've been interested in finding ways to support it, this is the perfect opportunity to visit and see what's going on and how you can help. And then on Wednesday, we're going to host a community book discussion. The book selection is All My Rage by Saba Tahir, and that's going to be from 6 to 7:30. And we have provided free copies at the library, so there's still time to stop by, pick up a free copy and read the book, and then come join in on the conversation. On Thursday, we're going to hold a plant and seed exchange right outside the library between 1 and 3. So we're just encouraging our the neighbors to bring in any seeds, succulent clippings, or plants that they'd like to exchange with their neighbors. And then on Friday, we'll offer a bilingual family craft activity in the library from 11 to 1. This activity is going to correlate with the library's regular bilingual story time that's every Friday. So this is going to give families an opportunity to stay after story time and make marigold flowers in recognition of Dia de los Muertos. And then on Saturday, we're going to wrap up the week with a children's scavenger hunt from 10 to 1. This is for kids aged 6 to 12, so they can come in to the library to search for little hidden library friends that we're going to have around. And for the kids that complete it, we have some little prizes for them. So we're really excited about the week. We're really excited to engage with the community. So we hope a lot of you guys can come and meet us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Hello. My name is Patricia McCoy, for those of you that don't know me. I'm not only a member of the Los Banos American Legion, but I've been a chairperson of the Los Banos Veterans Parade since 2017. The Los Banos Veterans Parade is put on by the local American Legion and the VFW. This year's parade will be on Saturday, November 1st at 11 a.m., and the theme this year is Salute to the Space Force. Yes, that is a branch of the military. It is the newest branch, and it was established December of 2019 and currently has about 14,000 guardians. That is what those that are active duty members are called. We want the community to know that I get asked this all the time on social media and around town, especially when it gets closer to November 11th, which is the actual Veterans Day, why we have our parade the date that we do. It is always that first Saturday. And the reason for that is because we cannot compete with the larger cities like Merced, but most especially Fresno, when it comes to the entries in our parade. And also, we don't want to make our community have to choose between going to maybe Merced or Fresno, which, in case you did not know, Fresno's parade, Veterans Day Parade, is the largest parade west of the Mississippi. So we don't want to make our community choose. Additionally, on November 11th, we veterans are very busy putting out approximately 975 flags around town to those who subscribe to our flag program. Lastly, I do want to mention that if anyone would like to participate as either an entry in the parade or as a volunteer. Yes, I still need lots of volunteers. I can't believe it's only like 2 weeks away. Please visit our website, losbanosveterans.org, and complete the online form. There is also a map of the parade route on there, and I hope everybody will come down and show your support to all of our veterans. Like I said, even though this theme is Salute to the Space Force, we honor all veterans, and no veteran will be turned away, even if you come up on the morning of the parade and say, hey, I want to participate. So I hope to see you there. I did get your email, so thank you. But I hope to see everybody else there. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City staff, and of course, fellow residents. Talk a little bit about growth. Again, when my wife and I moved here from San Jose, the Bay Area, in 1992, we moved here because we thought that we'd go to a small town setting and it would remain that way for decades to come. Lo and behold, within a few years of us moving here, the population grew from, I think at the time it was 12 to 13,000, and it just started mushrooming and it's continued ever since. And now it looks like the city is going to another growth spurt, and what we're doing is repeating the failures to plan like we did last time during the last growth. We're not planning for the we're not planning for the needed increase in police and fire personnel. I understand we're building another fire station, but we're already behind on that for at least 15 years, in my opinion. So we don't have plans for that, yet we're planning for growth. We're planning for more development. We're planning, and we're going to have more congestion. Yet, we are eliminating the only viable relief for that congestion, and that's the bypass. So again, increased population, increased traffic, increased response times from our first responders, which means less safety for our residents, which is your primary concern of any municipality. And as Mrs. Lewis stated clearly, the only reason the bypass is no longer tenable is because we no longer advocated for it. For example, we have the issue of De Anza. If the residents had not clamored for it, if not beat the doors down basically to have that thing addressed, we would have forgotten about it. And in a few years, we would have said, oh, it's just not tenable anymore. It's not tenable anymore because we just forgot about it. We didn't advocate for it. But the residents have been advocating for it, and now the City Council is working on it. And thank you, Chief Parisi, for giving that update last. We appreciate that. But again, it's just a minor example in relation to the bypass. The bypass is feasible. The planning has been done. Most of the work has been done. It is feasible, and it is the only thing that is going to relieve our traffic congestion, especially in light of the growth that we're anticipating. Now, tonight's agenda, we have a lot of items on the agenda that are going to transform the makeup of our city, and yet we haven't had public town hall meetings that we need to in order to get the input from the public. And yet the town halls that we have had, none of you attended. And I think that's a real shortcoming. If you want to know what the people are thinking, attend the town hall meetings. You get it right from them. Because a lot of folks, they can't attend the meetings tonight, okay, for various reasons. So I encourage you to attend those public events. Police Academy. It was fantastic listening to the folks who are attending the Police Academy, because that was one of my intents when I pushed for this project, when I met with Chief Reyna and advocated for it. Hispanic population makes up over 60 to 70% of our population. Many of those do not speak English or speak it very brokenly. I can tell you that my parents, when they first came here, they didn't speak English. As years went on, they spoke very good English. But now that they've retired, they speak very little English again. So, and we have a lot of that population here. And the reason I'm very happy for that, and for the chief's encouragement and support on that, and all the fire and all the police officers, is that it builds community. It breaks down the barriers to communication. and it increases capacity within the police department because now they have other resources. And we engage fully with the community at large. And it also reduces officer safety, or excuse me, increases officer safety. So that now we have folks that are willing to come by and assist with solving crimes, because as you know, that's one of the greatest reasons of solving crime is by tips from the public. So thank you, Chief, for your efforts on that. People are very happy, and I think that's, again, it's a way to assimilate. Yes, I want to use that word, to assimilate all the populations into one society. Crazy people. I appreciate your apology, Councilmember Chavez. I really do. But I also believe that, Mr. Mayor, you owe an apology because you laughed the loudest. Mr. Sanders, you also smirked, and it's there on video. In any regards, Mr. Mayor, you're responsible for the conduct with that dais. You should have turned to him immediately and corrected that. And also, it shouldn't have been 2 weeks later. You have all the means disposable at your disposal to make a video, to apologize immediately. I mean, better late than never, I suppose. But again, you take charge, you own it, and you move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward.
Hi again, Erasmo Viveros here, resident of Los Banos. I think
got to make it short.
I'll make sure. I think I have 2 minutes left because 2 minutes. How many minutes I have left? I used a full 5. None left.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna make
2
it
minutes,
quick.
2 minutes.
So I just want to say is I think there's a lot of good ideas that came from that community listening session for the bypass. I know there are discussions about Pioneer, and my only just hearing some of the comments here would be that if we are going to go to Pioneer, we need to address the Pacheco situation. If not, you're going to have a state issue there, and then we're going to be owning the full issue on Pioneer in the future. Someone said something really, I think, impactful at that one meeting. I didn't get to share my notes. Is that why not just make the current highway, Pacheco, the bypass? And then you're not going to split the city any further. If you create another bypass somewhere down, you have the city split literally in 3 sections. And we know historically from a planning perspective, when you go down that route, property values are impacted, businesses are impacted, and that also splits up council districts as well. So just want to share that impact and what I perceive the problems to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please come forward. We welcome your comments. Okay, I do not see or hear anyone coming forward. So I appreciate all the comments at the podium this evening for our public forum, and now we will move on. So let's see. Number 7, consideration and approval of the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be voted on with one motion unless removed by one of the city council members. So Lucy, if you could read off the consent agenda.
Items on the consent agenda are as follows. Warrant numbers 253959 through 254151 in the amount of $1,160,953.71. City council meeting minutes for September 3rd, 2025. City council meeting minutes for September 17th, 2025. City Council Resolution Number 6997, authorizing the interim city manager to execute a grant agreement with the San Joaquin River Exchange Contractors Water Authority for the H.G. Fawcett Canal Trail Overlay Project and amending the fiscal year budget to increase revenues and expenditures in the amount of $100,000. City Council Resolution Number 6998, approving the acceptance of a $50,000 grant from the California Office of Traffic Safety and amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget by increasing the appropriation amount of the state grant fund account for expenditures and revenues in the amount of $50,000. City Council Resolution Number 6999, approving parcel map number 2024-01, which includes dedications of the right-of-way along Highway 152 and Ward Road, and a 10-foot public utility easement along Highway 152 and Ward Road along Highway 152 and Ward Road, as shown on said map. Amy Chang as trustee of Amy Chang Family Trust. City Council Resolution Number 7000, awarding the construction contract for the pavement of F Street Corporation Yard Parking Lot Project to Cal Coating Asphalt, Inc. in the amount of $167,488 and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement. City Council Resolution Number 7001, approving and authorizing the interim city manager to sign the acceptance of a San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District electronic mobility grant in the amount of $150,000 and approve a budget amendment to the 2025-26 fiscal year budget to reflect the additional revenue and expenditures under this grant. And the items are to be approved as submitted.
Okay, with that, thank you, Lucy. With that, does any of the council members would like to pull off any of those items for further discussion?
I have a question on 7D. I don't necessarily want to pull it. I just want to ask some questions.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Is the H.G. Fawcett Canal the only one in the city that falls under this San Joaquin River Exchange Contractor Waters Authority?
Yes, yeah. It's a group, including CCID, so it's along that trail. And they don't necessarily have exactly defined eligibility requirements, but it needs to relate to something in relation to the irrigation system.
Right. So, the reason I ask is because we have other canals in town, like the one that runs way on the east.
So I don't believe that would be eligible. That's a grasslands. I don't believe that's part of that group, but I'd have to check into that.
Okay. The only reason I ask is because we have that canal. It's already paved. It's got lights. Like, it's a great walking path already. And putting $100,000 into that, it's not our money. It's a grant. There's no matching funds, so I'm not going to vote against it or anything like that. I just would like to see other projects where people can go do stuff instead of, taking a trail that's an 8 out of 10 and putting money on that to make it a 9 out of 10. I'd really like to see more projects happen, and it'd be nice to go for funds for that kind of thing. So that's my only comment on that.
Is there any other questions from the council? Comments? And if we'll have a motion, please.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
All right, motion and second to approve a consent agenda has been submitted. Any further questions or comments by the council? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Okay, item 8, public hearing. This next item will be a public hearing. And if you challenge the proposed action as described herein to this in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at a public hearing described herein or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to this public hearing. Our public hearing is to receive public comment and consideration on the proposed participation by the city of Los Banos in the bond opportunities for a land development or BOLD program of the Los Banos Municipal Finance Authority. Participation in said program will enable property owners to finance public capital improvements and or develop impact fees or public capital improvements imposed on new developments within the boundaries of the city of Los Banos. Before we open it up to the public hearing, Minnie, you have anything to state before we open up the public hearing? That's more than that?
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Oh, okay, Stacy.
If I can introduce Ralph Holmes. He's
Okay.
a managing director with Piper Sandler and company. They facilitate the BOLD program, and he's going to give us the presentation tonight.
Nice to meet you.
As she said, I'm Ralph Holmes with Piper Sandler. We're a bond underwriter. We help run the program. And just sort of big picture, what the program does is allows for CFD funding for new development projects. And so no development project
participates in the program unless they want to and they apply to do it. CFD funding is a development tool that the developers use to fund infrastructure and fees for new development projects. It allows a developer to place a tax against the property, and that tax is used to pay debt service on bonds. One of the benefits of this overall is it allows for the acceleration of the funding of infrastructure and fees for a local jurisdiction. So we'll go ahead and go to the first slide. This is sort of a summary of what the program is. So the Bond Opportunities for Land Development, we call it BOLD. It's a nice acronym. It allows for the outsourcing of CFD financing. So the city could do this themselves. The city could decide, hey, we want to allow for the formation of a CFD to help this development project to accelerate funding of infrastructure. What BOLD allows the city to do is say, yeah, we want to allow this, but we're going to let this outside agency do it for us on our behalf. And so the benefit is, you know, your staff has other projects that they're working on, other things that are more pressing really for staff. And so this is an outsourcing. So in terms of the program itself, it's run through CMFA, the California Municipal Finance Authority. CMFA is a joint powers authority that is statewide. It's got several hundred members, cities, school districts, counties, special districts, and whatnot. And I'm going to go ahead and move to the next slide. So community facilities district basics. So basically you can fund all sorts of infrastructure. We've got a list here of the different kinds of infrastructure that can be funded. This is infrastructure having to do with new development. So typically you'll have a developer that comes in and they want to build 100 houses and they've got to fund different infrastructure. There might be traffic lights, you know, streets, curbs, gutters, sidewalks. This allows for the funding of that on a tax-exempt basis. And these are a list of some of the things that can be funded. It's very broad on what can be funded. So local agency requirements, and you know, this is sort of a little behind. In terms of the local agency, all you have to do is join the program. So you have to join CMFA, become a member, and you've got to join the BOLD program. And the resolutions before you tonight allow for that. There's no cost for doing this. It's a JPA, you would just join it. So what are the benefits? The big one is you're allowing for the acceleration of the funding of infrastructure and fees for the city. So instead of money coming in as they pull building permits, oftentimes you can go ahead and get that money up front and invest it into projects. You can also work with your developers to get some projects funded faster than you otherwise would be able to. An additional benefit is, you know, BOLD as opposed to CFD. So the benefit I just mentioned is of CFD financing. BOLD allows you to outsource this. And so CMFA does all this. They do the formation of the district. They issue the bonds on behalf of the development. The city's name doesn't show up on tax bill. You're not involved in the bond offering. You're not responsible for continuing disclosure and any of that. So requirements of projects. So we do small projects, and the idea is we pool small projects to make it cost effective. And so if you've got 50 houses, 60 houses, you wouldn't do that as a standalone financing. It'd just be too small. So we combine them. So you have to have at least $500,000 in improvements for a project in order for it to make sense. Otherwise, it costs too much. Away from that, we want to make sure that we're meeting the city's goals and policies. We want to make sure that we're not doing anything the city doesn't want to do. We want to work with your staff and make sure we're meeting your needs. In terms of issuing bonds, we issue bonds when it makes sense. Typically, the development's got finished lots. They're building houses out there. We're not doing way in advance. So the formation process is undertaken by CMFA, and so you wouldn't be really involved with this except for the fact that your staff would attend calls. But what happens is CMFA goes through the formation process. It requires 2 meetings. They have to be more than 30 days, less than 60 days apart, and it's a 3 to 4 month process. It's pretty straightforward. It's initiated by the developer, though. So the developer comes and says, hey, we want to do this. They provide an application. We reach out to staff and say, is this okay? This is what they want to do. If the city says yes, then we go ahead and move forward. They fund the cost of forming the district, and then we form it over a 3 to 4 month period. So the bond issuance process is different. And again, it's all done by CMFA. It's not done by the city. But once we aggregate a bunch of districts, we'll issue bonds on their behalf. And again, it's a 3 to 4 month process. We go through the process of actually structuring the financing and selling the bonds to investors. I was asked by staff to provide a couple case studies. These are kind of interesting ones. Matos Ranch was in Newman. It was a small development. I can't see from here, but it's LGI Homes. It's about 106 units. And what they did is they put in place a tax that was roughly $800 a unit. And they were included in a pool, and they issued bonds to fund school fees. And that allowed the school district to accelerate projects. So there's another project in Riverbank, kind of a similar story. And this project, roughly the same level of tax. Again, they raised about $1.2 million. And that was to fund park improvements, storm drain, roads, and underground utilities. So the rest of the presentation really just sort of is an overview of the program. I'm going to do it quickly, and I'll answer questions at the end. This is sort of the history of the program in terms of formations. We started the program in 2018. It's been very, very successful. There's been a lot of participation. I won't go through each of these boxes. On this slide, we show jurisdictions that have joined the program. And so, we started in 2018, and there was nobody. And then Placer County joined. And Placer County's actually run more than 20 projects through the program. And the reason they did is they didn't want to participate. They didn't want to do the CFDs themselves, but they want to outsource it and help projects and accelerate funding. This next slide is, instead, the prior slide was authorized jurisdictions. This is actual projects. So again, there's a lot of information here. I won't go through it all, but if there's questions, I'd be happy to answer them. In terms of funding, this sort of shows the bond financing process or our history. And we started off doing a few deals the first year, and it's just kind of grown on itself. And you can see that actually in the next several pages. I'm not going to go through this, but you'll see that some of these are large standalone issuances. A lot of them are pools of smaller transactions. And we've done over $600 million in bonds in the last 8 years. It's been a really fun program to work on. It's allowed for the acceleration of infrastructure improvements, and it allowed for development to continue and housing development to occur in California. So I went through that quickly. It was on purpose. But if there are questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I'd like to go ahead and open the public hearing before the council gets involved with questions. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and open the public hearing to receive comment on the bold proposal. Anyone who would like to speak on this, please come forward. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, Ross Milligan, resident of Los Banos. Just more of a question, and perhaps the council can ask a question of this individual here. What are the pros and cons of the city taking the lead of implementing the CFD versus outsourcing it? And then more specifically, those cities that did outsource the CFD, what was their size and scope of the work? And then those that decided to do it in-house, again, what was their size and scope of the work? And then lastly is, did the city give consideration to doing this house? What were the pros and cons that they decided to go in this direction, have this presentation? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to speak? Anyone? Okay, thank you for speaking, and you want to go ahead and answer this question.
So the pros and cons, it's interesting because some jurisdictions decide they want to manage this process. Maybe they've got an in-house department that actually does this. And they're like, hey, we've got a debt department that actually manages these processes, and we don't want to outsource that because we've got employees. But it's funny because when I started this program, it goes back some years, but I used to do this kind of financing for the city of San Diego, which is a large public agency. And one day the debt manager looked at me and said, Ralph, I don't want to do these. I'm going to use this other program, and I don't want to do it. And I thought to myself, if the city of San Diego doesn't want to do this, why would anyone else want to do it? Some of the jurisdictions that do it, they're larger financings. They're $10 million plus. I don't know if I answered all your questions, but
Yeah, I think the biggest, if we're a larger city and bigger projects, I could see maybe doing something in-house, but for smaller projects, you know, I look at this sort of like a redevelopment agency, which we brought in an outside firm to run all that for us and take it over because we're not in that job for doing that. Yes, we have an expert finance officer, but you know, she has more things to worry about on her desk than the CFDs and stuff like that. And I think that's what I really compare it to in '95 when we started our redevelopment agency in town and just opened up. And I think one of the biggest complaints you hear through the years is that a project will start small or large, and the last thing is built is the park. And here's all these beautiful homes, and then we start building the park because that's the way the funding mechanism works. Well, now we can build the park with the first homes, you know, or whatever that is, or whatever it fits in that. And not only that, but street lights and other improvements that will make it. And it seems like funding for projects have really changed, like you said, when you started in San Diego, has really changed over the years for the way cities fund, the way private firms fund. Banks are really tightening their grip on things, and they don't want to fund anything that's outside the project, like a stoplight that they might have to fund. So then when does that get done? After the last house is built? Or so this, I think it's a good thing. It's what you're going to see. City, I know, I imagine it's on your report there. I know the city of Merced's done it too. And so I'm actually really in favor of this, and I think it's something that will enhance future developments, small and large ones. Any questions or any comments?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Yeah.
So we already have impact fees. Is this in addition to the impact fees we're going to charge, or is it a way to just finance those impact fees?
finance and accelerate.
Finance and accelerate. Okay, so this puts layers between it. So if we have an impact fee of whatever it is, $20,000 on a home, is the city still going to get that?
Yes.
$20,000?
Yes.
So the cost is just defrayed to the homeowner. Basically, it goes to the homeowner and they're paying it on the property tax.
It does, yes.
Where right now it's built into the price of the home.
Well, I mean, both cases are kind of going the price of the home, right?
Both cases are going to the price of the home. My concern is that you end up with basically, I feel like the developer is the person that's going to get the most benefit out of this, because on a $500,000 home, if you're not having to tack that $20,000 impact fee, which we all know gets tacked on to the price of the home, are they really going to charge only $480,000 for the price of that home now? Or are they just going to make an extra 20 grand, give this person a property tax that's buying the home, and now the homeowner's basically on the hook for it and our housing isn't any less expensive?
Yeah, I mean, that's a conversation that's had all the time. I'd say that, you know, the argument is, well, when I go in and buy a home, I can afford to spend $4,000 a month on it, right?
Sure.
And so if I'm spending $1,000 on a Melrose tax, I can only spend $3,000. So it's going to impact the price of the home.
I just, my concern on this is, and I know it's not locking us into using this for our developments, it just gives us an option in the future. But if the city's not getting more money for projects and the houses are costing more for the consumer, then the developer is the person that's going to win on this.
I'll give you my personal opinion. So one of my philosophies is that any new development has to pay for itself and can't try as little as possible to impact our existing residents. And that hasn't been the case. You know, we just talk about traffic. Look what's going on. So I think this is the new way to be able to mitigate conditions that building a new house in this town would help mitigate issues that house causes for our existing residents. I don't know of another way we can do it without this. And yes, I think it could work both ways on the cost of the house. If this cost is $100 a month and they can't afford it, does he lower the price of the house so they can afford it for $4,000 a month? Say if it's $4,000 a month, you lower the price so it's $3,900 plus the tax. or is what the market bears, it's really a market based thing. Whatever the market demands, that's the price the developer's going to pay. Yes, it can help the developer because he can get monies to do things. He still has to pay for everything, but but who's going to benefit if that's built first? It's us. Yeah, the developer still has to pay everything and pay for all his doings, but I think outside and our existing residents will probably benefit the most by doing something like that. That's my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, I do see how there are benefits from it. We have a big issue with affordable housing and doing things like this that unless we do this in a way that we can really see on paper that this is the price of the houses are not exactly the same, plus an extra property tax, so it's going to cost people more money. Like I like having the option. I'm not saying I think that we should definitely have the option, but if we decide to flex this muscle in the future, we need to make sure that we're really clear on how the developer is passing these costs along.
That's very good
and
point.
passing the savings along.
And like you said, this just gives us the opportunity to do it. We still have to do it and still have to prove it up here.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but
Yeah.
I would say that one of the things it does is it gives you a tool to go and sit down and talk with developers when development's coming in and negotiate these things.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And at the
Okay.
end, I think what it also does is it incentivizes the developer to also have those conversations with us on what can be financed through the bond proceeds. And it doesn't necessarily mean we have to go with it. It just gives them the option to do it. At the end of the day, the city is controlling what is going to be financed. We're the ultimate say. We're going to be the ones saying, yes, you can finance this. So it's an option that we can have. And in my prior jurisdictions, I had 6 different contracts to do this work with 6 different firms. One was the bond counsel, one was the person putting it on the tax roll, one was the financial advisor. And so this way, it takes the city again away from having that tax on the property. In my prior jurisdiction, there was adjustments in market. There was those that had Belarus and those that didn't. But development is can be very what is the word? When the market crashed, they were paying off those Belarus and lowering their prices and by not having the Belarus, they were selling their properties a little better. And so it's just a give and take, I think. But having the option to do this here, I'm very surprised we don't have that option. We didn't have that option. And having worked with the attorney that's part of the program and Goodwin Consulting that's also part of the program in my prior jurisdictions, I know they're a really good team. And for them to come up with this in 2018 and be able to have it to the point where they have it now, we all were kind of asking for it.
Yeah, when I was appointed, I asked if we'd ever done Belarus because I like the idea of it. I saw what Tracy did 25 years ago with their Belarus, and it's a great way to fund projects in the community. I just want to make sure that the right people are benefiting from it. That's my only concern. So I just want, I'm for this. I think it's a great idea, but the first time we actually do this and flex this, I want to make sure that we have it really tight and we're doing it right and we're making sure that it's not just the same home prices plus an extra tax and the developer walks away with all the benefit. So that's all I want to say.
Yeah, I'd agree with what Evan's saying. So basically, this is no cost to us if we approve it. But then, once development's going to come in, and then it comes to us again for each one, if we're going to, want to approve this to use, and like you're saying, but we have to basically be on board with it, or whichever council's up here. So we're not locked into anything. It's just available to us if we approve today, basically. Correct?
Yes, it's available.
Just to be extra clear, because this was asked of me, I reached out and asked for some opinions, and residents were concerned that it might affect people that already own homes or already here. Just to be super clear, this does not affect anybody that has already purchased property here. This is just
It will not
redevelopment,
affect
right?
anybody with any existing customers.
Right. And it's completely voluntary by development. They're not forced. Developers are not forced to join the program. It's completely voluntary, no cost to the city. So again, it's just a tool that we're able to use.
It's great to have options.
And for new development, correct? So just
right.
What he said as well. I'm in my existing home. I don't have this, but I'm going to sell, and the person buying is not going to get this thrown on top. It doesn't work that way, correct?
Yeah.
Just to make sure, just so everybody understands. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, Councilmember Sanders, I agree with you. Staff had more than one conversation specifically about that topic that you brought up about the price remaining the same and it being a benefit. And so we will definitely be cognizant of that as we move forward because that was a concern that staff had, for sure.
Okay, any other questions, comments? I'm sorry, I closed the public hearing, sorry. But you can ask this gentleman right here afterwards. Sorry. Okay, so before us, we have Resolution 7002.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 7002 as read by title.
I'll second.
Here we have motion and second for Resolution 7002 as stated. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we have City Resolution number 7003.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 7003 as read by title.
Second.
A motion and second for Resolution 7003. Any further questions or comments by the council? Not hearing any, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, actually, next item is item 9, consideration of approval of City Council Resolution number 7004, approving the award of contract to Swingerton Builders and the Taylor Group Architect for the Los Banos Civic Center project in amount not to exceed $7.8 million and finding the project exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA. With this, we'll go to Stacy, our Community Economic Development Director, Souza Elms.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. The Civic Center project, just a project overview. This project is a comprehensive renovation of the former police annex right across the street from City Hall into a development services center, a one-stop shop for all development. It will also be for the reuse of the old police station properties based on a feasibility study and then future direction that will be given from the City Council. It'll include the modernization of City Hall workspaces, cubicles, and electrical systems. It'll be essentially a cosmetic tenant improvement of City Hall, interior update. And then the end goal will be to improve customer service, efficiency, and interdepartmental collaboration. So community engagement, quite a bit of community engagement was incorporated and thought through with this project. We hosted a community workshop on July 8th and took copious notes and received community input from about the 24 residents that were in attendance. We also conducted a social media poll for about 2 weeks on Instagram and received over 250 responses. And we did receive City Council direction on August 6th. And that direction was to conduct a feasibility study on the old police department properties. And based on the findings of that feasibility study, to bring that back to the City Council for direction on what to do with the old police department properties. But the other two projects being the Development Services Center and City Hall interior renovations, we received direction to move forward. So the procurement process that really kicked off this process, city staff issued a request for qualifications, an RFQ, on July 30th, 2025. And what we did was we utilized a two-part qualification selection process that's consistent with the progressive design build procurement. This is provided in the California Government Code and the Public Contract Code. We received 3 statements of qualifications, SOQs, by our deadline, which was on September 4th. We received a SOQ from Diade Construction, Fortune Ratliff General Contractors, and Paul Halajian Architects, and Swinnerton Builders and the Taylor Group Architects. Then we evaluated all of the submittals that we received. We created an evaluation panel. It consisted of 6 staff members from various departments. We had the finance department. We had our finance director, Minnie Moreno, and our finance manager, Sarah Roscoe. From Community and Economic Development Department, myself, I was represented. From our Public Works Department, we had our interim Public Works Director, Joe Heim. And we had Mariah Martinez representing the engineering division. And then from the fire department, we had our fire chief, Paul Tawala, as a part of the evaluation team. The evaluation criteria consisted of team structure and key personnel, progressive design build experience, safety and litigation history, understanding of the city's vision, relevant project experience, project management and communication, and then budget and capacity. Then the selection process based on scoring that the evaluation panel provided as a team. The top 2 teams that scored the highest advanced to the confidential interviews with the evaluation panel. So those top 2 teams were the Fortune Ratliff, Paul Halajian Architects, and then Swinnerton and the Taylor Group Architects. Both teams submitted a post-interview project and an understanding summary from that confidential interview process. And then based on the scoring from the SOQs, the confidential interviews, and the project understanding recaps, staff recommended moving forward with the Swinnerton and the Taylor Group. And that was based on their strong technical experience, their collaborative design philosophy, and the successful track record with the police station project, which they were the general contractor. Swinnerton Builders was the general contractor for the police department, and the Taylor Group was also the bridging architect that helped design that project. They also, Swinnerton, built the courthouse next to the police department, and they've been involved in other projects within the community. The progressive design build method is what we used. We used a similar process in the building of the police department, and taking from our experience through building the police department, we really wanted to have that method also used for this project because we enjoyed the outcome of it and how easy it was to go through. So it integrates design and construction under one contract. So you're not dealing separately with an architect and a general contractor, you're dealing with the team together. It promotes early collaboration between the city, the architect, and the general contractor. And the key benefits are that it has cost control with a guaranteed maximum price. It reduces change orders. It has a faster delivery method, and has a single point of accountability. So the project phases and schedule, it's going to be a 2-part project, a process, so 2 phases that will take about 20 months. The first phase is going to be pre-construction. And this is really as it relates primarily to the police annex across the way, because there's quite a bit of investigation and assessments that we need to do to the building. We've done some preliminary assessments. We've had a structural engineer go through the building and provide some assessments, but additional further investigation needs to occur, like the roof. We need to assess the status of the roof. We need to assess the status of the foundation. We need to do a geotechnical report. We need to assess the electrical and the plumbing, and a lot more technical assessment needs to happen with our architect and general contractor, that design team. We need to then create a program and a conceptual design. There will be some cost estimating and constructability reviews, so that'll be a team collaborative process. And then we will develop the guaranteed maximum price, which I'll get into with the fiscal impact of the project in a couple of slides. And then phase 2 is the design build. This is the actual construction. And this will be the final design and permitting will be under this phase. It'll be the construction of the Development Services Center. It'll be some direction provided, which we would get direction from the City Council on the police station properties. And that again is going to be based on that feasibility study and the outcome that happens there. It'll include the City Hall modernization. And then it'll be commissioning and closeout, so final completion of total project. Team qualifications. The Swinnerton Builders have had over 135 years of experience in civic and public facilities. They have expertise in progressive design, build, delivery, and they have recent municipal projects across the Central Valley and the Bay Area. And then the Taylor Group Architects, they specialize in civic and educational design. They have experience in adaptive reuse and mid-century modern rehabilitation, which our building across the street, the former police annex, is a mid-century modern building. That's the architectural style. And they are based in Fresno, emphasizing functional and aesthetic design. So environmental review, this project is categorically exempt under CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act, under section 15301, in that it's existing facilities, and also section 15302, in that it's the replacement or reconstruction of those facilities. The work would be limited to existing developed city-owned sites, and there would be no increase in operational capacity or use. The fiscal impact, the not to exceed amount, total project for the agreement with Swinnerton and the Taylor Group agreement is $7.8 million. There is a contingency of $200,000, which gives us a total budget of $8 million, which the City Council committed the project total budget in fiscal year 2025-2026 adopted budget of the general fund for the police annex renovation, City Hall improvements, and the old police station properties. So the Civic Center project, that's all been committed already, that $8 million within this current year's fiscal budget. So staff is recommending that the City Council would adopt resolution number 7004, authorizing the interim city manager to execute the agreement with Swinnerton and the Taylor Group Architects for progressive design build services. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. As well, we have representatives from Vanner, which is our construction management team that we work with, helped us through this process, and a representative, Brenda Gary from Swinnerton Builders.
Talk a little bit about what it does for capacity of the next 20 years with City Hall.
So for City Hall, we're essentially going to be moving half of City Hall into another building. So it is going to increase capacity at City Hall by moving those departments out so that finance, human resources, and the city clerk's office, which are separate departments, have room for growth. Right now, they're all compacted into one half of City Hall, where development, building and planning, community and economic development, we're on the other side of City Hall. So by freeing up that space, that allows for, and the vision is that human resources and city clerk would be able to move over to the other side where development services were, and to be able to have growth there. And then the finance department would be able to utilize their whole half of City Hall and really plan for future growth as the community continues to grow. And we provide services and folks need to pay their utility bills, so we would have the proper capacity to be able to sustain that.
Yeah, I think that's really important because just to try to expand City Hall without doing this would cost a lot more money. You'd almost have to build another City Hall, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to be able to double really what those teams are able to do, those departments. And in addition, we're going to be expanding the future capacity for development services. We're going to be a lot more efficient and collaborative and being under one roof. Right now, we're sending developers and citizens just needing a regular building permit. We're sending them all over town to the Public Works Department or to the Fire Department to get answers and get various permits. If it's an encroachment permit or maybe it's a fire sprinkler permit, you know, they're being tossed around because we're not under one roof, and be able to collaborate together with the engineering division, with planning from the beginning, and then with Public Works and our Public Works inspectors and our building inspectors that follow those projects to the very end. It's really going to make us a much more efficient operation.
Efficiency and coordination, I
Mhm.
see. Okay, questions for staff?
This is also, excuse me, this is also renovating current City Hall, right? Not just what's across the street.
Yes, exactly. So moving the development services folks, planning and building out, like I said, would be able to expand capacity for human resources and finance and admin. And that will include a cosmetic upgrade to the internals of City Hall with new carpet, new paint, new electrical, new cubicles. It'll be a lot more modern and efficient here as well in this building.
You mean we won't be tripping over the carpet anymore?
Right.
No?
Yep.
Any other questions, comments?
Yes, this has the police station on there as well, but it talks about assessing the police station. Is an
Yes.
actual build included in this, or is it just?
It will determine what that feasibility study determines, and then the path that the city council provides forward. Whatever direction that could potentially be included, but we won't quite know until we determine the feasibility and then what path the city council would want us to take.
You mentioned that the police station used this same progressive design. It's an interesting concept to me, like approving $8 million for a project when we don't even have a design for it. What did we learn from the police station, from that design process? What did you guys learn that you might bring into this one? I know I've heard that there's some stuff about the police station that isn't ideal. So are there lessons learned that we could take forward and make sure that we do this maybe a little better?
I think Gary will answer that
I
one.
think, yeah, we have an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely some takeaways from the build of the new facility. It's beautiful, but there's always things that you can improve upon. Some of our weather issues that we deal with, some of the rain gets into some of our entryways. We have been working on that. My last report from the last rain that we received from the chief is that we had one very small leak, but things like that, the construction side of it are important. The difficulty is, even as, and I thought we went through the planning portion of the police department for months, and we thought we had, I mean, we were down to the location of different outlets and different plugins for HDMI and cables and telephone, and you get there and you build it and you don't realize, because it's not exactly from paper to the actual construction of it. You're always going to have some changes in minor.
I've walked through the police station and I see stuff from my perspective, being in tech for 7 years, and I'm like, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
So I get that. What are we going to do to make sure that the public has input on this? Because this is downtown, like this is a big part of our town. So making sure that we do, I know we did some public input, but having a design phase as part of this after we approve the $8 million, what does this look like?
So approving tonight allows us to just start that design process with the contractor that we've selected through that process that Stacy went through. This is just the very first step of that process. As we get into the design, we will interview staff from all of the different departments that are affected by this move. Public Works staff at the Madison Yard have no room for growth. You all approved additional bodies there. We need to get them out of that space at the Madison Yard so that we can move in some more bodies there. So as we go through an internal process where we're going to start to ask all the staff what they want, what they'd like to see, how they'd like efficiencies in their workspace. After we get that, we start to work on the mold of that design with our architect and our contractor. We take those things back to the public and say, hey, this is where we're at, this is where we're going. We're going to explain that process to them, just like we did at the police department. We had outreach meetings at the community center for the police department where we talked about the design, why we were going in the direction that we did. And then we go back and forth, and it's a learning process as we go. It's a living document, it's a living process as we get through this project and hopefully come up with something that's really good for the entire community when we're all done with it. I hope that answers your question.
It does, thank you.
Have you ever built anything that comes in under, like, and say, oh, I got $1 million left over, we can move it over here? No? I was just curious.
Maybe this time.
Brenda's shaking her head. She's saying, yes, we're going to do it this
Yeah?
time. This will be the project.
I'd love
We
to
include
see
a
it.
splash pad, maybe?
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that Swingerton and the Taylor Group, I'm very impressed with the city, with the police department, and has done well. I like the project, and I like putting everything together that's been explained. I think that's really the way of the future, so thank you. And with that, I'll like to see a motion here. Entertain a motion.
What's the number again?
7004.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 7004 as read right now.
Second?
Okay, we have a resolution, a motion to adopt resolution 7004 as stated, and we do have a second. Any further questions or comments from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank you very much. So item 10, consideration and approval of City Council Resolution 7005, awarding the construction contract for the basin and stormwater capture project to Archer Civil Construction LLC in the amount of $2,199,376.75 and authorizing the interim city manager to execute the agreement and issue the notice of award and amending the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget to recognize additional grant revenues in the amount of $525,000. And with this, we'll go to our acting Public Works Director, interim, and our Parks and Recreation Director, Joe Heim. Joe?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Hopefully, my last Public Works item presentation as acting Public Works Director. So tonight is a notice of award for the Basin and Stormwater Capture Project. Hoping that the mouse still works. Yep. As I mess it up. So this project is a partnership with the City of Los Banos and Grasslands Water District. It's via a grant through the state and the Del Puerto Water District. Some history on May 21st, 2025, City Council approved an MOU with Grassland District for cooperation on the effort to implement this project. And the project itself formally dates back to July 5th, 2023 with an MOU approved by City Council to proceed with exploring the benefits of constructing the detention and recharge basin at this location. The property was also approved for annexation on February 19th by City Council of this year, 2025. It's designed to enhance groundwater recharge, improve our stormwater system performance, and support long-term water sustainability goals. The project is located on city-owned property near Henry Miller Avenue and Santa Fe grade. It's a key step towards meeting our state groundwater mandates while also improving our local flood control capacity. Looking at the project itself, it's going to construct 3 recharge basins totaling 185 acres, and along with the infrastructure needed to control the movement of that water. The key features include a 24-inch turnout from the San Luis Canal, 2 concrete interbasin structures to balance flows, and a 60-inch outlet stand pipe equipped with a 30-inch flow meter for accurate discharge measurement. These basins will help us reduce downstream impacts, increase stormwater capture, and create future flexibility for recharge or supplemental supply storage. Looking at the budget and the fiscal impact, the total project, we're estimating about $2.75 million. You can see the breakdown there. We have the base contract with, in this case, Archer Civil Construction LLC at just about $2.2 million. We also have a 15% contingency for unforeseen conditions, as well as funding for construction support and testing. The funding comes from the Wastewater Collections Capital Fund, and you can see the breakdown there in terms of the line item. And this project also benefits from a $1 million grant, Prop 68 grant, through the partnership with Grasslands, and again, through the Del Puerto Water District. It's a part of a larger grant regionally. So that $1 million will be reimbursable as part of this project. So as part of that, we need to both look at the expenses, which again, we're looking at about $2.75 million for expenses. And then we're also requesting a revenue amendment of increase of $525,000. And the reason for that is because we had put into the budget, into the fiscal year 25-26 budget, we had appropriated the $475,000, and we need to go up to the $1 million. The reason for that is because we thought we were going to have some reimbursables collected before June 30th, 2025. That was not the case because the state requested that this project be past the notice of award phase in order to collect on that. So there's some reimbursable project elements from a previous project that's associated with this project that we'll be able to reimburse and get back on track. But the end of the story is that we will bring our revenue account up to $1 million in order to account for the extra revenue that will be coming into that account. And again, the project itself is a $2.75 million project, just about $2.2 million for the award on the base contract to Archer Civil. With council approval tonight, the city will issue the notice of award and authorize the interim city manager to execute the agreement with Archer Civil Construction LLC. Construction is anticipated to begin this fall with completion expected by April 2026. This project will play a major role in improving the city's stormwater management and advancing our long-term groundwater recharge strategy. There is a phase 2 to this project that will be a separate design and release for bid, most likely in the summer of 2026, and that includes the installation of pumps on this site. And I would just add to my comments that I think we had 15 bidders on this project, which is the most that I've ever come across personally in terms of public works or parks projects. So very happy to see the competitive bidding for this project, and I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Okay, any questions for Joe?
My other question is 15 bids, and one of them was like 3 times what this one is. Did they all get the same proposal?
It all depends. If you notice, there's different locations. Different companies are in different positions to mobilize. They may have also just gotten different estimates. We'll get a wide variety on different projects, but especially if there's 15, you're bound to get some.
Yeah, but we're confident that this is not going to have overruns and changes and all that stuff, right?
So we have appropriated in the budget $3 million. Like I said, going back to the fiscal budget, we're only estimated this at $2.75 million. So there is extra funding appropriated in the budget, but again, we built in the 15% contingency, which in the case of a multi-million-dollar project is $329,000. So that builds in a lot of space for unforeseen activities out there. This project will include some CEQA elements that will do for environmental analysis. You never know what can pop up when you go through that process, and that's probably one item that I keep my eye on. But short of that, I think that's going to be a fair amount of contingency for this project.
Only comment I have is we need another one of these on the west side.
That'll be the next guy.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay, with that, we have before us City Council Resolution number 7005. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 705.
I have a second.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion for Resolution 7005 as stated in the agenda. Any further questions or comments from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Thank you, Joe. Item 11, consideration of approval of City Council Resolution Number 7006, ratifying the city manager's approval of the employment agreement with the Public Works Director, William Vai. So with that, we'll go to our interim city manager, Gary Breezy.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, staff, and the community. I'm pleased tonight to present this item. Before you, you have a request to approve an employment agreement with William Vai, the successful candidate for a Public Works Director position. I'm very pleased to say that William is a Los Banos native. He's called Los Banos home since the 1970s, and he is a proud graduate of the Los Banos High School class of 1985. Further, William is a past president and secretary for the Friends of the Los Banos Library. William is a veteran serving in the United States Navy between 1986 and 1989. After the military, he worked in the private industry, including owning his own business and as a maintenance worker for CCID. In 2017, he was hired by the City of Los Banos as a Streets Division foreman, where he managed a number of Streets Division activities for our city: maintenance and repair of sidewalks, streets, street lights, pavement, street markings, coding invoices, budgeting, and procurement of goods, as well as many other street-related duties, including the supervision of Streets Division employees. In 2018, he was promoted to Public Works Operations Manager, where he supervised the operations and employees of several divisions within the Public Works Department, including wastewater treatment, drinking water, utilities, streets, solid waste, airport, and the fleet. William developed yearly budgets for each of these divisions. He participated in labor negotiations, managed the Public Works budget, and was the project manager for various Public Works-related projects. In 2022, William left the City of Los Banos and was hired by the City of Hollister as their Public Works Director, where he currently manages a very similar Public Works operation. William brings the experience as a current Public Works Director, as well as the knowledge of our systems, our history, and our programs as both a former employee for the City of Los Banos and a lifelong resident of our community. Educationally, William has obtained a Juris Master's degree in American Legal Studies from the Liberty University in Virginia. He also has a Master of Arts degree in Public Administration from Norwich University, as well as a bachelor's degree in public administration from Southern New Hampshire University. A summary of his agreement language is as follows. The effective date of the agreement, or his first day on the job, will be Monday, October 27th. His base salary will be $224,000 a year, or $18,667 per month. Medical, dental, vision, life insurance packages similar to those other exempt management employees hired after April 1st, 2010. Retirement, we will contribute a percentage of employees' reportable wage to PERS for the plan he is eligible for. Retiree health, when eligible, the city will provide access to medical insurance for those employees who retire as defined by PEMCA and consistent with city policy. He will be entitled to accumulate vacation and sick leave, accruing up to 120 hours of annual vacation at 10 hours per month. He'll be front-loaded 24 hours of both sick and vacation time upon his start date. Administrative leave, as with other department heads, he has access to 12 work days off per year. He will be prorated based on his hire date. As the Public Works Director, William will be responsible to plan, organize, direct, review the activities of and operations of the Public Works Department, including drinking water, wastewater, fleet, airport, streets, solid waste, and to coordinate assigned activities with other departments and outside agencies to provide highly responsible and complex administrative support to the city manager. In other words, the train is going down the road at 100 miles an hour down the track, and we're going to require William to jump on as quickly as he can and get up to speed and moving forward as quickly as we can. Right, Joe? Yes. Really happy to actually provide this staff report to you. So that concludes my presentation, Mayor. William was with us tonight with his wife. If you have any questions of either him or I. My recommendation is to approve this contract as identified in this item's staff report.
I don't have any questions for William. William, we're very excited that and welcome you back to the city of Los Banos. We're really glad you're coming back home. I think where you belong. And looking forward to working with you. I don't know if Council has any comments.
The only comment I have is the timing is weird here because we have a city manager starting who used to be the public works director in, what, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So I assume based on the history here that they know each other and everybody's all fun. It's all good. Okay. All right. So long as everybody's on board. We're not going to have some kind of strange thing going on in a couple weeks here. I'm good.
We'll make sure to cover that base.
I would hope so. I had to assume that you did, but
That's why we have the gavel.
Totally okay to ask.
Welcome, Bill. You got a lot of work in front of you. Got a lot of work to do.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 7006.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 7006 is read by title.
Second.
Okay, motion and second for resolution 7006 is stated. Any further questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Welcome aboard, Bill. Okay, item 12, consideration approval of ordinance number 1210, amending Chapter 16 of the Title III of the Los Banos Municipal Code relating to contracting for public works projects, Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act. This would be the second reading, and this would be the adoption of this. And let's see, who am I going to? I'm going, Joe, back to you.
Dang it. Yes. But I think Mr. Vaughn had taken it last time. If you want to take the lead, if
yours.
Either way.
He's punting to you, Bill. I got you.
So I have the pleasure of presenting this item that I know you've all been waiting for tonight. This is the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 1210. The first reading and introduction was at your last city council meeting. Your staff report sets forth all of the pertinent information, but I'll summarize that for you. AB 2192 was signed into law back in late 2024, and AB 2192 made changes to the Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, which the city follows in the administration of all of its public projects. The main changes made by AB 2192 are the bidding thresholds for all of our public projects at three levels: the force account level, informal bidding count level, or formal bidding level, and the formal bidding level. The city follows this through its municipal code, and these thresholds have been changed by AB 2192. I think we discussed those actual changes last time. It actually increases each of those thresholds, and what that means is there are certain thresholds where we can do public projects through a forced account. There are certain threshold that we can do through informal bidding, and then the final threshold being formal bidding for all of our public works projects. The purpose of this ordinance amendment is to amend our Muni Code to reflect the changes in AB 2192 that were made to the Uniform Public Construction, I always get this wrong, the Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, and so that we're in compliance with and consistent with that act. The recommendation is to, by motion, waive the second reading, and then by second motion to adopt the ordinance as read by title. And I can answer any of your questions that you might have.
Any further questions for Bill? Then I'll entertain a motion to waive the second reading of ordinance number 1210.
I'll make a motion to waive the second reading of ordinance 1210 as read by title.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to waive the second reading of ordinance 1210 as stated. Any further questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now a motion to adopt ordinance number 1210.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 1210 as read by title.
Second.
Motion and second to adopt ordinance number 1210. It is an ordinance, so we need a roll call vote, please.
Perez,
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
Chavez.
Yes.
Lewis. Amabile.
Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. And with that, we will go to our city departments reports. And we'll go start off with Community Economic Development Director, Stacy Souza Elms. Stacy.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. So we will be holding a public hearing on October 22nd at 6 p.m. With the Planning Commission, and this will be for the housing element update. This is for the 6th cycle update. This is for 2024 through 2032. As you may recall, the City of Los Banos, we are within a multi-jurisdictional housing element update with the rest of the jurisdictions in Merced County. And then we will also be including an overlay district for our regional housing needs allocation. This will be within our zoning ordinance of the Los Banos Municipal Code, and this is to implement the housing element and to ensure compliance with state law. That concludes my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Finance Director, Minnie Moreno.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I just wanted to update. I went to the League of California Cities conference last week, and it was a really good conference. A lot of networking with other mayors and city council members, city managers, finance directors. There was over 2,000 in attendance in Long Beach, and there was really good sessions on AI, really good sessions on homeless, really good sessions on general plan. And so a very engaging. And one of the keynote speakers was Aaron Brockovich. And so
Any questions?
we couldn't ask any questions, but it was more of a motivational speech than a Chromium 6. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is it.
That's all I have to report.
Thank you. Fire Department, Chief Paul Dwala.
Good evening, everyone. A couple things. One, we just had our pancake breakfast last weekend, and thank you, Councilmember Sanders, for attending. We had about 100 folks. It was a good just PR event, just to get with the community. We were able to meet a lot of folks, so it was very nice. We are currently doing our volunteer firefighter recruiting. We're going to have an informational day on the 25th, just to kind of highlight the program, because it's a two-tiered program. We have a support role volunteer. We also have an active firefighting and EMS volunteer role that we're doing. So the support role could be someone that wants to come in and help with rehabilitation, things around the station, and then our active firefighting role will be focusing on fire and EMS related tasks to help support fire department operations. We have, last week I attended the Board of Supervisors meeting where it's the EMS contract. So AMR was awarded the Merced County EMS contract, which is going to be a good thing. So we have some upcoming meetings with next week actually with their management staff, just kind of discuss EMS within Merced County and things that they can assist us with. So
I see you spoke at that too.
I did. Yeah, I'm in support of providing a better service to our community, and I'm very happy to see this coming forward. So this will be good. And you will see within the next 2 weeks, you'll see our big ladder truck out and about. We finally got all of our equipment in, so we are able to start our truck training. So you'll see the big ladder truck out and about, and actually get our folks trained in aerial operations and operating that larger fire truck within the city. So, and that's all I have.
Good. Thanks, Chief. Human Resources Director, Lucy, you have anything? Okay, thank you, Lucy. Parks and Rec Director, Joe Heim. Joe?
Hi, good evening. One of I will say my favorite event of the year is coming up, Halloween Fest on October 25th. It'll be from 4 to 8:30 over at the Ag Sports Complex, and lots and lots of pumpkin painting and crafts and a maze and all sorts of stuff. So really encourage everybody to go to that. This year we're getting some support from the school district to provide shuttles to it. They're a binational group through them. So I know parking's always an issue, which is a good problem to have because that means a lot of people go, but this year we'll have that support. We're still refining the locations, but we believe Pacheco High School will be at least one of the locations for that. Speaking of Ag Sports Complex, if you make it out there, there's the 2 construction projects going on. So you can see the new playground, the new netting is also just about up and ready to go. If you take a drive out there, you can see that progress, or if you just come out to that event, you can see it. Shaughnessy Village is also continuing on its progress, and you can kind of see the grass coming in the basin, and the playground and picnic tables will be getting installed very shortly. Also pleased to see the grant for the canal trail. Obviously, we want to continue to look at other amenities as well, but definitely very grateful for their support. This is the second time we've gotten that grant from that agency, San Joaquin River Water Authority Exchange Contractors, and very much just appreciate their support of our projects. Shifting over to the public works side, you'll start to see some internal overlays of particularly courts, and so I think you've seen some Facebook photos of some of the work that'll be continuing this fall. You also see a video from Imagine Way More on speed bumps, and our streets foreman presenting that. This Friday, in a couple days, we'll be celebrating the treatment plant solar project that went out there with partnership with Peninsula Clean Energy. We hosted the community center back, I think, in March, and so it's very good to see that the treatment plant also coming on board. Those 2 projects have been a number of years in the works, and obviously saves the city a lot of money. Also, just because this is my last Public Works update, William, I wanted to provide an update on the De Anza Way opening. So we are in design for that. Right now, we have a timeline, and I know it sounds far out, but we have a timeline of fall 2026 to summer 2027 for that construction to be complete. That may be expedited by Caltrans and by review process. I suspect that William and the next city manager will be in communication with them. We wanted to provide as realistic a timeline as possible for that, but I just wanted to leave that because I know interim city manager really had that as a project that he was passionate about getting moved along as best as possible. And I know just having worked on the Shaughnessy project with the park side, just how much those residents both have been passionate about getting it open. But again, I'll just say it just like the Shaughnessy, they've been very courteous with me, and wish we could wave a wand and get it open. But I just wanted to provide that update. And then just lastly, just wanted to thank, just because this is will be my last couple weeks here as Public Works. I just wanted to thank all of our consultants, Caltrans, MCAG, our staff. I'm coming from the Parks and Rec side, and this is not my forte or my background, and I just really appreciate how they've educated me and welcomed me on that side of things. It's been very helpful to me. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Joe. Yes, I think the Peninsula Clean Energy is going to save the city another $380,000. So that is really good. Okay, with that, so we'll go our police chief, Ray Reyna.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. A few things. So, as you know, we had a shooting last week. You'll be happy to know we have all 3 in custody. We have the suspect vehicle. This is something, violent crime shootings in Los Banos, that we've committed to working on. So as an example, between 2023 to 2024, we reduced these types of cases by about 22%. The first, actually year to date, where we are now compared to where we are last year, about another 50%. That being said, we had one last week, and it's only due to the hard work of the men and women of the police department who worked day and night all weekend, and we were able to bring this case to a close. So my hat goes off once again to the staff who make all the difference and who understand that we really want Los Banos to be completely different, very safe, and someplace where people are happy to raise their families. Tomorrow, Commander Eddie Drum and I will be attending the Delta Academy graduation, where we will be swearing in a new police officer, bringing him home to Los Banos, and I will be sure to bring him to the council meeting so that you all can meet him. As you can see, the Citizen Academy, the Spanish Citizen Academy, is well underway. They only have a couple classes left. This is the first Spanish Citizen Academy that we've provided. We've done others in English before, and they've all been very successful. But this is the first one we've done in Spanish. And I will be giving you some shelter stats tomorrow, putting the final touches on them. You're going to like them. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chief, and good job to you and your department, all your officers. Okay, with that, we'll go to our interim city manager, Gary Breezy.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. First of all, thank you to the staff for all the things that you guys do. Every 2 weeks we come up here and you guys say all the things you say. It's just the tip of the iceberg. You guys do a ton of work, and I want to say thank you all for the hard work that you do every day, day in and day out. Congratulations, William. Look forward to seeing you on the 27th. Congratulations, Joe. Joe sits back and he has been a rock star for this city. He has not complained a single bit about the additional duties that he has taken on. The people around the table at the department head level have all helped, but that guy has gone above and beyond all of our even reasonable assumptions of the things that he'd get accomplished. He doesn't complain about anything. You see emails from him day and night, weekend, it doesn't matter. He is there working on projects. He hasn't slowed Public Works down at all in his 4 or 5 months of doing the job. So I just want to say thanks, Joe. You've really been a pleasant individual to work with, considering the stress, having Leo at home and Mama and all the things that you've been doing since May when you took over. Congratulations on the job. Absolutely well done, Joe. You deserve all of it. Thank you for saying that about De Anza. I think we may have bridged a part of a funding gap on that project. I won't say more than that because Joe has been working very hard on that, but we're looking forward to some work with De Anza. The day that it was submitted, we had sent an email up to the Caltrans staff begging and pleading with them to expedite the 30% review so we can get that back sooner than March. I anticipate that we will, but I appreciate Joe's reasonable timeline. So, but we're definitely working on it. I could talk for another 20 minutes about De Anza, but we're getting it moving and getting it done. We talked at the public forum about some staffing issues. We totally understand the staffing issues that we have citywide. This fiscal year budget, you as a city council approved 19 additional employees citywide. That's a tremendous increase in staffing for all of our departments because they all need help. That included 5 at the police department, a sergeant, 2 police officers, a records manager, and a maintenance worker. That included 2 battalion chiefs at the fire department, and amongst the other 12 individuals that we hired. So I understand that we're not to where we should be based on the MSR, but it's not lost on any of us up here, the need for the employees. But it's a balancing act every day, every budget cycle to manage our dollars responsibly. But we're trying to do everything we can to provide the men and women below here at the dais all the technical expertise and the employees that they need to do the best job for this community. So I just want to make sure that that is said because you all have worked very hard up here to make that happen. So I want to talk a little bit about Chromium-6 because we had our second quarter testing. We had our first quarter testing in July. This is September 24th testing. Those results are in. As anticipated, we were above the new lower maximum contaminant level of 10 parts per billion for our wells. And so that triggers a mandatory written notice to our utility payers. That has gone out in our first utility payment or utility cycle. Thank you, Minnie. That went out somewhere around the 5th, so you should be seeing those for those of you who get your utility bill this cycle. The second cycle will be later on this month, around the 20th, where you will receive that mandatory notification. We, at the staff level, talk about chromium-6 far too much. I talk about it up here far too much, but we do have some positive steps that we're making, and I'm going to talk about those really quickly. First, the city completed its, actually, I just talked about that one. It's important to note with that notice that you all are receiving that the state of California is not saying that our drinking water is not safe to drink. It is above the maximum contaminant level that they have adjusted down, but it's still safe to drink in our community. They're not telling us to go to bottled water. They would tell us that if that were a necessity. Second, the city submitted its required compliance plan as part of this process to the State Division of Drinking Water in late September, like September 29th. Literally within 2 days, it was October 1st, we received our notification that our compliance plan had been approved. What does that mean? Our compliance plan included notification to the state of California that our wells had been above the MCL, and that as required, it included a proposed treatment to get that MCL maximum contaminant level back below the 10 parts per billion. In our case, we are going with a wellhead treatment. We have 13 wells around the city of Los Banos. We're working on well number 14 out by the west side of town, out by the junior college, where we are going to provide, it's called reduction coagulation filtration. That is the system that we have chosen to go with for many reasons. Financially, chemically, engineering-wise, it seems to be the best fit for the community of Los Banos. They approved that plan, and they gave us until December of 2030 to complete that project. I'm going to say that again. They approved the plan based on the 13 wellheads that we're going to be treating, and they gave us until December, the end of the month in December of 2030. That's almost 5 years away, if not 5 years from today, or yeah, a little bit over 5 years. It doesn't mean it's going to be an easy project for us to do. There are a lot of parts to this process. We are currently in the pilot testing phase. Right now, we have a vendor out at one of our well sites with a pilot testing product using that reduction coagulation filtration system as a proof of concept. It'll be there at one of our well sites for the next 2 to 3 weeks. After that, it'll move to a secondary well site, one of the other 13 wells that we have in our community, where it will complete that same process over again. It'll work that RCF process for a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. We'll take all that water back to a testing facility, and we're going to see how it goes. That's our proof of concept to make sure that the design we're working with for the state of California meets the need of reducing our maximum contaminant level back below 10 parts per billion. So once that's complete, after the wellhead treatment pilot program is done, we go into a design phase. That's not easy. We have 13 unique wells that we're going to have to design a unique system for. We're going to have to select a vendor to do the work. We're going to have to design each of those different systems, and then we're going to have to go out for construction. So it's going to take a lot of time. And finally, what's going to have to happen is we're going to have to identify a funding source for all of that work. The project is not going to be cheap. Based on current engineering estimates, it's about $60 million. $60 million to treat our 13 wells. But given the time that we have, that 5-year period in that compliance plan, we're definitely going to be looking at the staff level for different alternatives to solve this problem other than just that wellhead treatment. But that's the plan that we're moving forward with at the time, right now. So there's a lot going on as it relates to chromium-6 behind the scenes, but we are moving ahead. We've been approved by the state with our plan. We've got the pilot testing going on, and that will continue into the month of November until that's complete. We'll bring those test results back to you at some point at a future council meeting, and we'll keep moving the ball down the field one play at a time, 1 yard at a time until we get to the end of the project. And I think that's all I have for tonight, Mr. Mayor, council members. Thank you very much. I spoke a lot, and if you have any questions about the Chromium 6 issue, I'm happy to answer them offline whenever you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. We'll move to a city council members report. We'll start off with council member from District 1, Mitzi Perez. Anything to report?
Just a quick reminder that we still have open positions for the city commissions. I would like to see some more applications specifically for District 1 Planning Commission. We still have until November 26th, so you still have some time, but I would like to see some more applicants come in. And the application is found on the city website.
Great. Thank you very much. And council member, District 2, Evan Sanders.
First, as usual, I want to thank staff. You guys do so much work to get this stuff together. You have daily jobs that I know you're really busy with, and then you also have to create this and be here to answer all our questions. So I really appreciate all the work that you guys do with all of that. So beyond that, I want to talk about a public engagement experiment that I did this week. So after I received the agenda on Friday, I kind of broke it down and put some thoughts on it and then put it up on my Facebook page and shared it out to see, on Saturday morning, to see if I could get some resident input about thoughts anybody had about what's going on with the agenda this week, and just to give people an opportunity to speak up that may not want to come here and stand in front of the public and talk, because I get that that's not the funnest thing. And it helps me because, I mean, a little peek under the skirt how this works is we get this binder every week. This is actually probably on the skinny side of average, but this is 251 pages of dense material that all of us have to, the first time I see this is Friday night. So I have until today to understand this, to have questions that make sense, to ask staff for clarifications before we get here, so it's not, minutia. So it's really helpful to get a temperature on people in the community to know what their concerns are. So I wanted to see if I could leverage some social media for that. So I want to thank everyone who responded. I got some responses on the threads and the shares that I did. I got some direct messages. I even got some text messages because my phone number is out there, and I appreciate when people call me or text me about this stuff. It was really helpful to prepare for this. I want to acknowledge also something that I think is really important. It takes real courage to come to a meeting like this and to stand at a podium and share your views. I feel that if anybody that does that deserves our undivided attention and our full respect. I promise for myself, if you come up here and talk, I'm paying attention to what you say. I may look down and take a note, but I am listening. I think it's really important that we treat everybody who comes here to speak with respect. And I think everybody up here feels the same way. In the past, I have been to these meetings and I've watched on the live stream and saw a lot of people on the dais that just appeared completely ambivalent to what was going on, staring, taking notes, just not really paying attention. And I don't really feel that that's the way that we should be behaving when people are coming here to speak with us. So we can't respond to public comment. Sometimes I want to, but we just can't. But if you keep an eye on my Facebook page, my social media, I may make some comments about stuff that happens in public comments here. So with that in mind, I just want to be really clear with everyone here and to everyone, all the residents of the city. I'm accessible to everybody that's in the city. I'm not great at public speaking. It's probably one of my least favorite things. I'm getting better at it, but you often see me reading from notes because I tend to ramble a lot if I just speak off the cuff. What I am good at, and the kind of person that I think is best for this kind of job, is somebody who's willing to do the homework, get into the weeds, and actively listen to what the residents of the city want. I try to integrate that into questions that I ask up here at council meetings, and also the questions that I ask staff behind the scenes. So I have my business cards right here. I put some in the back also. My cell phone number is on there. My email's on there. Pick one up. Don't hesitate to contact me. Pick up a few, give them to people that you think might want to contact me, especially people in District 2, but anybody in the city, not just in District 2. My goal is to be as accessible as possible. I want to be as well informed as possible what residents want in the city. Check my Facebook page. I'm going to be updating it a lot more. I kind of got on my heels pretty quickly after being appointed to this because social media is not a very kind place a lot of the time, and it didn't make me feel good, the stuff that I saw, but I've worked through that, and this is what I'm going to do. This is, you know, I'm good at interacting with people on social media and online, so that's the way that I'm going to do this. I will try to get an agenda breakdown up every Saturday morning, so people have an opportunity to comment to me, and so they know that, you know, I will bring this to they don't have to come here if I see a lot of comments on things that people are looking at. I will bring that to council for you. So this has been a continuous learning process for me, and I'm really grateful to the people that have tried to help me along the way, and hold us accountable, because that's how good government works. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Evan. Councilmember District 3, Marcus Chavez.
Again, thanks to staff for everything that you guys do, always. Sorry, my voice, I'm a little under the weather. Joe, again, thank you. You're always stepping up to the plate. Like I always said, since I started, you're like the hardest working man in the city. But thank you again for what you do. And again, welcome, Bill. Welcome aboard. And, you know, I want to say, keep this short, Gary. You've been fantastic. I want to thank you for everything you've done for the city and for helping us all out. You know, I'm not going to drag this out. I know you hate this kind of stuff, but thank you very much. Thank you. Very much appreciated. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Marcus. I just want to, I'll start off by a comment on the bypass and our existing general plan. One of the issues, so like I said at the last meeting, I worked 12 years on that bypass, getting it designed, getting it engineered, getting the environmental done, and it's up to, I don't know, $700 million bypass now. Caltrans said they're not going to do it, but here's the reason why it's being taken off the general plan. Probably the main reason is when you have a road like that, that's huge, it affects your traffic model throughout your whole city. And so when we're doing anything, that bypass is sticking out there, showing that this much traffic in the future is going to be gone. And I'm sort of bringing it down a little bit, but that's really a big part of it. So we need to remove things that aren't going to happen realistically, but also look at what is possible to happen in this city. And yes, we are working on the Pioneer Corridor. We have to work on two north-south corridors. We have to work, you know, improving a northern east-west corridor too. We have to do a grid all the way around the city. We realize that. But that's probably one of the biggest. It's not that we want to get rid of the general plan. Believe me, no one's worked harder on the general plan and that bypass than I did, and it kills me to see it gone. But I just wanted to make that point. My next item is MCAG was canceled last month. I have a meeting tomorrow in Merced. A couple weeks ago, I visited the museum with Dan Nelson. He's curator there. Spoke with a group about the future of Los Banos and also about the history. It was very nice. If you haven't gone to the museum, you have to make time to visit it. Dan's doing, and the volunteers are doing a fantastic job there. This morning I recorded an interview on Channel 47 CBS. It's going to be aired tomorrow about Los Banos. I talk about all of you, so if you want to hear your name, no, it was real good. And they're actually, I'm encouraging them to expand that with all the cities. You know, it just drives me crazy when Los Banos is left out of the weather map. We're not even, 50,000 people, we're not even on the weather map. And some stations do it, some don't. And so we have to be known, and that's just we have to be heard not only through our community, but through the valley. And that's very important for working with our neighbors to get monies and to get things accomplished. And then, let's see, I have a few things to say about it. I am going to apologize in advance, Gary. I know you don't like to be singled out, but I wrote something. So tonight marks Breezy's last council meeting as interim city manager. This is the fourth time he has stepped up to lead our city, and each time he's done it with a steady hand and a full heart. Gary has always done a fantastic job as our police chief and as our interim city manager. He cares deeply about this hometown, about his hometown, and about the employees who keeps running this city. He's pragmatic, honest, and level-headed. One of the things I always admired about Gary is his patience. He doesn't make hasty decisions. He understands that every choice he makes can have lasting effects on our employees and our residents. Because of that, he's careful, thoughtful, and always focused on what's best for our community. This particular time as interim city manager was especially challenging and especially important. He knew exactly what he was stepping into, and he still volunteered for the position. 4 bargaining units on the verge of striking, 6 lawsuits pending, city workforce missing many, many key people and key personnel. And that was only a small part of the hundreds of decisions that were waiting for him on his desk. Even with all those challenges in front of him, Gary never wavered. He filled crucial positions with the right people, he stabilized our operations, and he brought calm and confidence back to our city hall. He led when the city needed him most, and he helped this organization heal. And I think that's the most important. This organization healed. Honestly, I do not know anyone else who could have done this job at this time this well. Gary, as your mayor, and on behalf of this city council and our city employees and residents of Los Banos, we sincerely thank you for your job well done. Thank you. So he's going to have big shoes to fill here. But this council will make sure they're filled right. So with that, we do appreciate everybody that spoke at our city meetings, as city public forum, I should say. We appreciate everybody and everybody's opinion. And it's our job to make sure we do the best for the residents here. So I thank everybody attending here tonight. Thank everybody at home. This meeting is adjourned.